everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. This week's video, I'm doing something with the GTR that I typically don't do with any car, and that is I'm taking it to the mechanic. That's right, there's actually a job that needs to be done to this car that I'm not going to do myself. And trust me, I agonized over this decision because it's something I actually wanted to do myself, because there's no videos for it on YouTube yet, so I would have loved to have shown you how to do this, and that is my timing chain. The car's been getting the dreaded P0011 code, which pretty much says that the timing is incorrect on the cams, which is a telltale sign that it's time to do the timing chain on this car. So I was all sorts of ready to do it. I mean, it's not the first time I've done timing belts. So I've done timing belts on the 2JZ GTE, I've done timing belts on the RB26, I've done timing belts on the 4G63, and I've even done a Honda Civic for some reason. So it's not the first time I've done a timing belt. But there's two things that kind of made me stop on this particular one. First thing being is that it's a chain. I've never done chain before, and you know, that should never be a reason not to attempt something, because it doesn't seem like it's really all that much more difficult. And so in that, yeah, I kind of want to do it because I've never done a timing chain, and it would have been awesome to get the experience. But here's what stopped me. I got into my own head. Now, when you take a look at the 2JZ and the RB26, if I screwed up that timing belt job and a piston made contact with a valve, yes, it would suck. I would cry, because that means I have to buy a new engine. But that being said, those engines you could get for $3,500 to $4,500. So even though that's a good chunk of change, it's not break the bank, put you in the poorhouse chunk of change. Whereas I looked at the cost to replace a VR38 engine, the cheapest one I found was $14,500. I mean, that's the cost of some cars new. And I gotta admit, I hit that panic button. I mean, yeah, I've done timing belts before and I've never screwed it up. I'm super meticulous when it comes to lining up the timing marks, but I don't know why. I kept thinking of that, you know, if I screw up, I am not going to drop $14,000 to $15,000 on the engine. Plus, you have to put the engine in from underneath the car. I don't have a lift, so I can't even do the engine swap myself, which means I'm paying for labor. I'd probably be looking at like $20,000 to $25,000 if I screw this up. And like I said, I panicked, and that's why I'm not going to do the timing chain myself on this car. That being said, though, this isn't a complete loss, because I'm going to introduce you guys, I hope you'll let me, to who, in my opinion, is the only person you ever want to take a GTR to if you live in the Southern California area. I am taking my GTR to Sebastian at Specialty Z. I mean, this guy is the true definition of what a GTR guru is. I met Sebastian back when I had my R35 GTR back in the day, because, you know, I was having some issues with it, and this guy was amazing. I mean, my R35 was probably one of the first 50 that were brought into the country. I drove up, he looked at it for like 10 minutes, like, oh, your issue is this, your fan clutch is bad, you've got a bad injector, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, this car just got here, how do you know all this? Well, this guy's been playing around with GTRs that are brought in under questionable means and RB26 swaps forever. And as soon as the R35 came out, he was very smart, became very proficient with this car. So this is a guy that I completely trust to do anything you need to do on the car. So that's where I'm heading right now. I hope I get a chance to maybe talk to him on camera, show you his shop, because like I said, hearing from this guy for less than 5 minutes will convince you that this is the shop to go to if you own a GTR. Now, all that being said about Sebastian, that's kind of another reason why I decided to take it to him to do the timing chain. really, this car's never been looked after by somebody who's a true GTR mechanic. Now, I did get a PPI from Nissan up in Seattle, Washington when I bought it, but I never got a chance to meet that tech, so I really didn't get a chance to fill them out to see how much they really know about the GTR. So I know that by dropping this car off with Sebastian, he's going to have it for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks as he's doing the work on it. Hopefully he'll get a chance to drive it, and he'll also be able to let me know if there's any other things that I need to pay attention to on the car in the near future, or if there's just something that's completely wrong that I've just been missing, he'll be able to point it out to me. So there's kind of a twofold reason for taking this car down for the timing chain. One, I just lost my confidence because of just the cost of the engine. And two, it's kind of a backdoor way to kind of get a true GTR guru to take a look at the car and let me know anything that I'm just not aware of. All right, so because today is December 31st, Sebastian didn't really want to stick around and talk, but when I pick up the car after he's done, he's more than happy to sit down and I'll interview him a little bit for the channel so you can meet Sebastian and just see what a great GTR guru this guy is. Like I said, if you live in the SoCal, this is the only guy you want to take your car to. This is also kind of a fun thing too, is that nothing's better than dropping off an R35 GTR than getting a ride back home in an R32 GTR. Of course, you guys know Mike, we've done lots of work on his car. So this is going to be a short video, just dropping off the GTR. As soon as it's ready, we'll pick it up. And he'll also talk about maybe some things he found with the car that I wasn't aware of that we can address in the future. All right, here we are about 20 days later, and I got a notification from Sebastian. The car's ready. He's finished the timing chain. Typically, it doesn't take this long to do, but because we're dealing with the COVID and the Los Angeles port, where we're having issues getting parts, so it took him a little bit of time to put everything together, but it's ready. Gonna go pick it up and finally get to drive the car again. It's been over 20 days. All right, here we are, back in the R35 GTR. Man, does it feel good to be back in a proper car. I spent the last 20 days driving a Toyota Camry, and I think my soul died a little bit every day I had to do that. So, but now I'm back in the GTR, I feel more like myself. However, one thing I did notice, and this is actually kind of funny, is as soon as I got back into the R35, I realized just how high it feels like I sit in this car. Like, it feels like I sit really far from the road. Whereas I'm used to things like my Supra and my RX-7 where you sit real low. And the funny thing is, the Camry, which I've been driving, I think sits lower to the ground than the GTR. And I think that's something I need to take care of. Now, I don't want to lower the car because as of right now, the front bumper only has about 4 3/4 inch clearance as it is. So maybe I'll have to look at something like maybe getting some sort of aftermarket seats and find a way to just kind of drop my position a little bit so I feel like I'm not riding around in a pickup truck. Now, that being said, the timing chain is done, the water pump is done, the oil pump is done. I mean, pretty much Sebastian, especially as he did everything behind the timing belt there, the timing chain cover, and the car feels much stronger. And the funny thing is, there was a rattle that has been with the car since I bought it, and I was always having troubles deciding if it came from the front of the car or the back of the car. I just really couldn't tell while I was in the cabin, and that rattle's gone, which means it was not the bell housing. It must have been the timing chain slapping against the timing chain cover. And that's a very common thing as these things start to stretch out. The timing chain will stretch enough that it'll make contact with the timing chain cover and it'll create a rattle. And hopefully he'll send me the picture. You can see that it was in fact making contact with the timing chain cover. So it's very good that I got this done. Now, also talking about Specialty Z, I know that I tried to get Sebastian to get on the channel. I wanted to talk to him on camera so you guys could see who he is and get a feel for him and just how great of a mechanic he is. But I was there on a Friday at about 4:35. All of his employees were there. I think he wanted to go home, so I didn't want to harass him too much. But that being said, if you have any iteration of the Nissan GTR, whether it be the Skyline GTRs or the GTR GTR, or if you have any Z car, this is the guy you want to go to if you live in Southern California, if you need a mechanic. I mean, this guy does top-notch work. The guy's a true guru. He's seen everything with the car. He knows how to fix them all, and he's very trustworthy. He doesn't do anything shady. So he gives my full recommendation. Now, just to let you know, I am not getting any discount in the work he did. He's not paying me for saying this. This is just legit how I feel about Sebastian's work. Now, I will go ahead and put all the information for Specialty Z in the description down below, so if you need him for your GTR or Z car, you'll be able to find him real easily. Also, to let you know, one of the reasons why I did the timing chain when I did is I have something really fun coming up, and that is I'm going to a track day. That's right, we are taking the R35 out to streets of Willow. Now, me and some buddies, we decided to rent out the track for the day, so it's literally just us. And I think it'll be a blast. Of course, I'll take the cameras with me, I'll record it, I'll put it up for you guys to watch so you can see how the R35 in pretty much stock configuration does on the track. So make sure you stay tuned in for the channel and subscribe so you don't miss that video. Speaking of which, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go hit that thumbs up button to let me know. It does help the channel out a lot. If you'd like to see more automotive, particularly GTR content in the future, go and subscribe to my channel. You can now follow me on all forms of social media, which include Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. I'll leave links to all those in the description down below. If you'd like to support the channel, I do have the JD Archer shop. If you go to jdarcher.bigcartel.com, you can see a limited section of hats, t-shirts, and hoodies I've designed that are for sale. If you have any questions about either what was done to the car or Specialty Z, go ahead and post in the comment section down below. I will respond to you. I thank you all for watching, and until next time, forget everything else, focus on the finish line.